Good morning, everyone. This is Julie McDonald with Microcom Technologies, and I would like to thank all of you for attending today's webinar with Ubiquiti Energy, today featuring sunMAX. Today's host is Andrew Piper. He'll be presenting today, and if anyone has any questions, feel free to submit them in the question box, and Andrew will answer them at the end of today's presentation. I will ask the questions, and we'll have a question and answer session, however long it takes to get through all of them. Anyway, thank you so much, and Andrew, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Julie. Appreciate that introduction. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. We appreciate you attending. In terms of who's attending today, I imagine there's a lot of people who may have previously watched one of our webinars. Today we have a slightly different approach. We're kind of looking at a different aspect of the sunMAX business, and what we really want to do today is just present a clear path to solar and help you guys know and understand how to profit with solar. So we're going to cover an overview of the sunMAX business opportunity and just generally describe what that means for your business. And then what we really want to do is explain two different paths that you can take that can add more profit to your business with sunMAX. So what we first want to do, we're not going to get into too much of a technical discussion. I think we've covered a lot of that previously, and you can also find any of this info on our knowledge base. But to understand kind of our product niche, I think it's important to just go through just a basic understanding of why sunMAX and why it's the way it is. So sunMAX as a product it's a grid-tied solar product, and what that means is that rather than being off the grid, where we'd have a battery and it wouldn't require connection to your utilities, a sunMAX system is really geared towards saving. So a grid-tied solar, what it's all about, as opposed to providing an alternative to electric utility, is that it's providing, with grid-tied, it's more about providing a more affordable option than electric utility. So it's all about minimizing your utility bill and providing a way that you can generate your own power and save money because of that over the long term. And it's very profitable in that way. To go into that, to go along with that, so our product is really aimed at being that it's aimed at saving money. It's also aimed at being as affordable as possible and convenient for entry-level installers. So where many of you haven't done solar before, you'll find that sunMAX is overwhelmingly more affordable than our competitors, and especially in small quantities for installers who are going to do one or two jobs initially. It really is a price that's difficult to beat. Some of the advantages that come along with this is that typically we see with other products, sunMAX is an all-in-one solar kit. So with the way it works in the solar industry, typically we see that integrators, and especially those small guys, those smaller companies, will typically have to shop for each component to find an affordable price. What that means is a lot of time, overhead, staff to maintain that inventory and ensure that they can always have a product there. With sunMAX, what we offer to you is a complete, total, all-in-one system that also comes with a lot of free services and resources that honestly provide a lot more value. So it means that you're going to spend less time shopping for components. You can go to one place, and along with that, you get a lot of free services that you typically have to pay for. For instance, like mobile apps or cloud monitoring. This is a free service provided along with sunMAX. And we'll talk more about those, but just generally, that's something to keep in mind, is that sunMAX just means it's an easier business to start up with solar. There's just not as much required because we add so much to it. With a few of the other things that we add along with the system, we provide a free video lessons as well as user guides, and so you can check that out on our knowledge base. We have a lot of our materials are very nice. They cover the whole process of installing solar. So someone that's never done it before will cover everything from an electrical foundation to setting up step by step the specific sunMAX system. And with our certification course, what's nice about that is that for those of you who are new to solar, it provides a way that you can provide some credentials and show that you've done that you have a foundational understanding of solar. So for those of you who aren't from a solar background, it's really helpful in just getting you up to speed and giving you sort of the legitimacy you need to start selling solar to your customers that you have already. some other tools we have, and I guess this seems like a lot, but there really is a lot that we're adding to the product. Another thing that we do is we provide a free site geometry design tool. It will allow you to, for a customer site, to put in their address and generate a actual proposed install on top of their satellite imagery of their house, and you can see from that the generation of how much that will generate in terms of how much that will offset their utility bill, how much that system will cost, and then we have some tools that come from that. So the next one, bill of materials, we provide a list of materials that you can use to order from Microcom to get your system and to know what quantities you need there. Another thing we're doing to provide is we're getting free custom permitting, which on each install will save anywhere from $500 to $1,000 on the install to do that for free. And then we have, again, some other things that we're doing to provide. You can see here. This is actually kind of interesting. So there's a lot of businesses in the solar industry that are dedicated to providing each one of these things. So sometimes you'll have a company that exists only to provide a site geometry design tool, where we are providing all these at no cost. I was actually at a recent solar conference, and so one of the most common feedback that I received was, "What, you guys are doing this all for free? You're going to put us out of business?" And I feel bad about that, but we'll gladly take them on to sunMAX. So it's just something that we really feel is important to offer this value to our customers. So you guys make sure to capitalize on that and use these resources that are available to you. There's lots of help guides that will help you know how to use these, and it's all, again, dedicated towards helping your solar company be a smaller size, not have to increase your overhead, your size to compete with big solar. So it's a great opportunity there. So let's just talk a little bit now. Let's move into a little bit more about Ubiquiti and how this fits in with our other products. AirMax, most of you will be familiar with that. In 2010, we released this, and this was the dawn of the WISP. What we did is we allowed for wireless internet to be offered as an alternative to a lot of the traditional ISPs, and this was cost disruptive. This was better hardware at a more affordable price, and it led to better prices for homeowners, and it led to a lot of profitable businesses. And many of you have had AirMax be a central offering at your company. So sunMAX really goes along well with that, and it's very comparable, which is why you see the naming convention there. With solar, we see solar in a similar situation. We have a lot of large solar companies that are really dominating the market. What we're providing is very similar to AirMax. It's a low-cost, all-in-one kit, and it's really aimed towards helping these small companies like our WISPs to compete with big solar. And so with all the results, with all the resources that we have, the ultimate result is going to be additional profits to your company, similar to AirMax. And we really can't impress enough how we see this in the same category as AirMax, that this is something that can really improve your business. We've had some, I think it's something new, and it's similar to AirMax and to becoming a WISP. Many of you will know it's difficult to start something new. And because of that, we really have aimed towards WISP and made this more simple to make that move. So we really encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity. We're doing so much of this for free, and we want you to make sure that you can explore what this is going to add to your company. And we'll talk a little bit about that as we go. Just an example, so with our install, the feedback has been immensely positive. So with the install process, it's aimed at being really quick to install, and we boast the quickest times of install. So we see that with one of our integrators that we had installing this, he said, "I can't say enough about the solution, well thought out and easy to deploy." And I've actually had that same experience. I've never done solar installs myself. I'm from an IT background, but I can tell you after installing sunMAX, it's very easy. It's a nice experience. It just fits. And I think that really will match up with a lot of your experiences with Ubiquiti products. So we've, again, followed that same kind of trend. Now we're going to start exploring the first avenue that you guys can see profit at your company with sunMAX. Now, the first of those is the most obvious one, which is to start a solar company yourself. And this is really where much of these materials have been aimed at helping you do that. At this point, the market is in a great position for solar. So we have seen over the last 10, 20 years that solar has become more affordable with each year, and it started to expand its distribution. Now, in California, we have there's a pretty good number of installs there, but across the country, we see that, and including California, there's still overwhelmingly most of the solar, very much solar has not been done yet, and we're talking about millions and billions of revenue that's going to come from those installs eventually. And we really want to position our WISPs to be able to come into the market and capitalize on this. So as you can see here, the way we envision it for sunMAX is we envision your existing internet customers to be converted over to solar. And some of you may not be from a WISP background, but we've had IT consultants similarly that have done the same thing. Heating, air conditioning companies. So there's lots of opportunities to convert your existing business over to be friendly to solar and at your profits. As you can see from this graph, the installs are extremely profitable. We're talking about anywhere from, I'd say, an average of $2,000 to $3,000 profit per job. For larger jobs, we're talking about $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 of profit. And in many cases, this simply will take about 10, 15 hours of work total. And as you install more systems, you'll see that the investment will decrease. It will require less time on your end, and you'll be able to build up your customer base without expending more resources. So it's a great opportunity. And again, as we've overlaid in this graph, you can see how, along with the subscription model, you can really add a lot to your business as is. We can see just from 4 installs in a year, there's a ton of additional revenue there, and that can really help your company. So if it works for you, if you're willing to take this on and really do a lot to do solar, but it also works for some of you who may have just a couple customers that you know are interested. Either way, sunMAX is very conducive to your profit there and to your business, and we want to impress the value that's there, and we're very confident that matches up with our products. This is just basically an overview of the process, and this is where we want to just kind of focus on the simplicity here. In this case, we have an example of how you can become from a WISP to be solar in 3 weeks, and that might be a lot to ask, but with all the resources, and again, we're here to help. With what we have offered, we're very confident this can happen. We've had people who have done it, and they've enjoyed immense success. So again, it's very simple, the process. Just an overview of what that would look like for you if you decide to go the direction of having a solar business is we've helped cover your bases with marketing, with design and sales and installation. One of the most common things that we get as a concern is, how do I sell this? And we know that you don't have we know you don't have a crew of experienced solar salesmen, and that's okay. We've actually made it more reasonable and easier for you to do that with adding our sales proposal that you can take to a customer's house and show them what they'll say. We've added these on-site tools that you can use to show them the profits. And so it's really, you can see here the different categories of your business and how we're adding to your value there. And I want to reiterate that we're here to help you with every step of the way. I've actually personally been fortunate to work with some of our WISPs here and personally in helping them get their business going, and it really is a great opportunity right now where our distribution is expanding. We have the resources right now to help, or we may not a year or two down the road. So take advantage of our support that we're offering, our free consulting. We'll help you with every step of this process. And so you can see here, with installation, we're talking about half-day jobs, and you can make $2,000 or $4,000 per job. You can do it while you're already on the roof doing something else. And so again, we really recommend you take a look at this business. So in specifics, this is one concern we've had as well, is that our integrators or WISPs don't know how to facilitate financing. And because of this, we've responded by creating a list of sunMAX financers, and we've actually are adding to this list all the time. So we've talked to banks and different financing parties out there for solar who are offering loans, and we've verified that they're ready and able to handle sunMAX installs. So go out to our community, our knowledge base, and check out our list of solar financers. But the way it works, and this is kind of a good overview of the business, simply what you'll need to do after this phone call right now is just find an electrician or contractor if you don't have that license or if your jurisdiction requires it, and find a bank or someone to work with. You just will make the sale, and then you can help the customer get linked up with that bank. So this walks you through that process. It's on our community. Recommend that you let us know if you have any difficulties in that process. So, and again, going back to sales, this is kind of the process that we see with sales. This is probably the number one barrier. I had a conversation with a WISP this last week, and where they struggle is that they just don't know how to sell this yet. So simply, what it takes is you can show them you can get the copy of their bill, design a system for them to offset their consumption, and you can create a customer savings proposal, and that's done through our design suite, and then you can give them that PDF and show them what they'll save. you close the sale, and then you start with the install. So again, really what's different about this product than what you're selling with AirMax or some of your other products is that you're not selling a function, you're selling savings. And in that regard, it's hard to beat this investment opportunity for customers. So what we've gotten some feedback so far, and what we've heard is that installers love the product. Again, where I've worked closely with them, I've gotten very good feedback. One of our integrators, who's actually not from a WISP background but was an IT consultant, he has explained to me that it is immensely profitable and that they're finding a lot of opportunity. And he's working out of Ohio, which is traditionally a very not prime solar state. So things are going well there, and we're really confident that that this is a good product for you. What we've been told is that with no startup costs, no warehouse, no overhead, is that this allows these small companies to turn their business into solar and add to their offerings without adding much to their overhead. So we really recommend this, and we want to work with you and help you getting your company going. So, and again, some customer feedback. We actually had a customer. I want to share a customer quote from someone. He said, "Upon installation, my wife and I knew the system was working because we could see the production numbers in the meter. With no change in our everyday habits, the first bill after installation went from an average of $250 to just $8. If we keep saving at this rate, we are on track to save $2,900 in energy costs the first year and $72,000 over the life of the system. This was a sound investment that also qualifies for a 30% tax rebate. It's a win-win." So again, we see that customers are happy with sunMAX, and especially if you convert some of your existing customers over, they're going to be really happy when they get that bill in the mail. Similar, look, if you do the numbers and you actually use our customer proposal tool, you'll find that solar as an investment is a better investment for most customers than the stock market has been over the last 20 years. We're looking at, in many cases, people are seeing annual yields of 15% ROI, if not more than that. So we allow no money down financing. It's pretty easy with solar. It's a conservative risk, so a lot of financiers are willing to finance these projects, and they also add to the home value. So we've gotten very good feedback from customers as well, so we are very confident that your install company can succeed. As an alternative to that, let's say that our second path that we want to cover today is lead referral programs. So many of you will not be ready to make the move to solar, and I understand that. I'm pretty conservative when it comes to my business decisions myself, and so whether it's the concern that you're not ready yet, you're not in the right area, you don't think, or maybe or you're too busy with your other things, that's fine. We're willing and ready to help you make money with sunMAX anyways. So we're introducing this as a kind of a new program, an incentive for you to get involved with solar. And in this case, we worked with Microcom to establish a program in which you can refer your leads. So let's say you have a list of customers that you're working with right now that may be interested. Send us your leads. All you need to do is send it to sunMAXdesign@ubnt.com, and the email's right there. I'll be sure to write that down. And just put a spreadsheet together or a CSV file and send it over to us, and include the potential customer's name, phone, email address, and the city and state they live in. And if you do that and that leads to an install, what's happening is Microcom is going to be sending this to an installer who's ready to make the install in your area. And if that lead translates into an install, you'll receive a 5% commission on that. And so we recommend that for a big, and in many cases there are going to be some large installs, a 5% commission on profits is very large. So we're really excited about this program as well as an alternative for those who may not be ready to make the move. And so if you know anyone, if you're ready to make your move, but you know some other WISPs or someone that you think might have some leads, I encourage them to participate in this program. So that covers both sides of the business. Now, in conclusion, we're going to move on to our Q&A session because we want to hear from you guys. But the money really is here to be made. We're offering a lot in terms of resources, and so we just recommend you don't let your concerns keep you from expanding your business. We'll help every step of the way. Our support team is prepared to handle questions about financing, about finding an electrician. They'll help. Engage with us. Let us know what your concerns are, what's holding you back. We'll help you along. So at this point, I think we're ready to move on to the Q&A session. And if you have any additional questions or concerns, again, go to our chat support, and we'll be happy to start talking with you.
Thank you very much, Andrew, and that was a wonderful presentation, very, very informative, and it looks like we do have some questions, so I'm going to start reading them to you one at a time. I've got about 3 of them here. I'm going to start off with what is Ubiquiti doing or addressing regarding the end of subsidies from the federal and state government and the problem of the power companies not wanting to buy power?
Okay, great. Yeah, that's a great question. So first of all, I don't know if you're aware, but ITC, which is the 30%, the investment tax credit, which is the biggest program in the United States, it really has done a lot to accelerate solar growth in the U.S. It provides a 30% rebate tax credit for any solar install. And for the total cost of the install, after all said and done, they'll give you a 30% check to the customer, or in the case of you're leasing the equipment, you'll receive that 30% check. That has actually been extended through 2020 now. And then with diminishing amounts, I think, for 2 more years after that. So for 4 more years, you have the opportunity, 5 more years, you have the opportunity to sell solar with a 30% off coupon for basically everyone. And the government fulfills that, and it's very easy to obtain. With some states, there are some changes in legislation. We see overwhelmingly, though, that things are moving in a positive direction, although we do see setbacks from time to time. I believe it was Nevada recently that had a change in their net metering program that could leave a lot of people. Well, it's already left a lot of people upset. So it is more tumultuous given that we're subject to policy changes and everything with solar. That's you know that worry, and with the ISPs as well. But that's something that we're prepared to help you with. And with the price of the product, even if, let's say, that the incentive programs in 2020 were ended, with the increasing rate of utilities year by year, and with our price being as competitive as possible, for those prime customers, there's always going to be a way to get solar, and for it to save them tens, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 on their utility bill over the next 20 years. So there's always customers there. But I think right now we're very encouraged with the changes, but internationally there's still things happening. But we're confident the product will work, and if any solar product is going to work, it's ours, because the price is again so low at this point to you, and so we're very confident we can handle that.
Thank you, Andrew, for that very much. I've got another question for you.
Sure.
Other than the typical homeowner being a client, who else do you see benefiting from solar? Like, what industries do you mostly see jumping in on this?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that, because I didn't get much into that in terms of potential customers. One of the things that we're finding now with our existing customer base is that a lot of non-traditional residential customers are becoming a big lead. Recently, I posted this on the community. Some of you may have seen it, but recently the U.S. government, for instance, expanded their funding to solar for low-income housing. As an example, we have had some solar integrators that have been working with these housing authorities to, submitting bids, and I think they're still waiting to hear back in some cases, where they could fund solar for an entire subdivision, and this would be from the government. So for financing wouldn't be as much of a concern or difficulty, especially where grants are readily available. But beyond like nonprofit, low-income housing, that sort of thing, we have a lot of different other aspects for business. So one of the future where we see a lot of growth potentially is in utilities or within community solar. Something that you may explore as well is installing a system for a community, marketing to a local government. We find that a lot of times small businesses, the benefit of going to small commercial is that it's not little if any more complexity than a residential install, and they have the financing readily available. So there's a lot of different potential customers. Now, what the other opportunity that you have with sunMAX, because of the price being so low with the hardware, and you being able to operate at such a low overhead compared to the competitors, it means you can bring in other partners and other companies to facilitate more installs. So where we could see some other relationships that are beneficial would be with a building contractor that maybe is working on a new subdivision of homes, and as a part of that, a pitch to a building contractor and saying, hey, we can sell you these at even a more affordable price than you'd sell residential, but because of that, they can do the install as a part of and they have the license already. It's just a matter of getting in touch with your local contractors and seeing if they're interested. I mean, other ones we've seen pursued and actually work really well are heating, air conditioning guys, roofing companies. I mean, honestly, the possibilities are endless, and a creative approach to solar in my opinion, is the most successful one at this point, especially where I think a lot of our WISP have shown that independence and that ability to expand their business in creative new ways. I think you'll find that solar is very accommodating of that. So I recommend you to come up with your own ideas too and submit them to us. Let us know. Post in our community about success that you found with, a different party. But the options are there with partnerships as well as a wide array of different customers you can have. Hope that answers.
Thank you, Andrew. I've got a couple more for you. They're popping in. Is sunMAX available in the U.S. only, or is it available in Mexico as well?
It's available in Mexico as well already. Again, I recommend you contact. We have actually on our website, if you go to ubiquiti.com and go to distributors, there's a list of there's some offering in Mexico. I'm sure Microcom would ship there as well. I'm not sure how that works, but we do have that availability right now, and we are expanding distribution all the time. So EU is we already have products shipping to EU, and we're hoping to expand distribution internationally as we go forward, because we know we have a lot of customers abroad, a lot of people that do. These are other products that are enthusiastic and ready to go with solar, and we're working to meet that demand. So we're confident that within, it's already available in Mexico, but we're confident within months, 6 months, it'll be available many more places as well.
Great. I know you said internationally because someone wanted to inquire about the Philippines, and so you said internationally. The Philippines was something that came up here with someone's inquiry.
Yeah,
Can you
absolutely.
speak to that just a bit? Thank you.
Yeah, Philippines definitely. We're expanding with EU. We're hoping to expand to Asia, Southeast Asia as well, and Philippines. I mean, we're honestly, wherever we have demand, we're going to expand the product, and we see demand everywhere. I mean, we see solar is, especially with places like the Philippines, solar is in high demand where there's good sun time and where utilities are rising in cost, and so we're very open to that. And again, I recommend that if it's not there to market yet, still work with getting your business set up, and we'll help you throughout the process as well. So let us know if we can do anything to help there.
Great. And regarding the process and the different things involved, does Ubiquiti handle all required permits?
Yeah, at this point we are. We're not putting a limit on that program. We have the available engineers. So if you want to send us your permit applications, we may have some limited ability to provide that internationally. But at least within the U.S., we have an engineer on staff who's stamped in many states and is becoming certified for other states. But for those places where we're not certified, we can always provide a technical drawing that you can take and get approved by a licensed electrician in your jurisdiction, whatever the regulations may be. So there's no limit on that right now. So take advantage of it while that's the case, and send us your permits. We're happy to help you there.
Great, thank you very much. That looks like all or most of the questions. If anyone is in the middle of getting a question over to me, I would be happy to wait on that. We can address that, of course. Andrew, you mentioned one of the first questions when we talked about the subsidies in federal government and different things happening through 2020 and beyond. Do you see this product really progressing within the next 5 years?
I think it's positioned in a place where we're gonna see some changes inevitably. I think we're committed to keeping the product line stable. With our microinverter, for instance, we have a microinverter that's well more affordable than any other microinverter that you can buy right now. And so we have the means to be able to keep it if let's say prices drop, we have the means to help keeping our product competitively priced. So I don't see that being a big concern for us. It may be more of a concern for companies that are selling their hardware at a greater margin, at higher costs, where we're more committed right now, honestly, to expanding our distribution of our product and getting our product out there. We want to see, in the same way with AirMax and Unify, we want to see our products out there, and we want to profit from a wide distribution. And we think our product is really poised to handle that, even given whatever changes we might see in the market with pricing and with incentives. So there's definitely we're ready for that, and whatever happens, we'll be able to handle it. And as far as changes go, I think it's going to be pretty stable. But if that is needed at any point, we'll be ready to handle it.
Great. I've got another question for you here. Can sunMAX be purchased in small quantities, or does it need to be purchased in large pallet-type quantities?
You know, our directive is it can be purchased in small quantities, and we want to see it. You know, we may need to work out the details with Microcom, but we have no restriction on sizing, and we see that many of our distributors are offering it at no minimum quantity. So I would talk to them about that, but we have no restrictions on our end. We're seeing it, and I can say overwhelmingly that is the case, that we don't have a minimum quantity on solar. Now, the shipping costs are going to be much more efficient with the pallet size, but that said, if you want to come pick up a lower number of panels, you know, we don't have any restriction against that, and that's something that's pretty unique. Even if you buy pallet size, one of the things you'll find if you research other solar products is that those that are offering pricing and they're transparent about the pricing, you won't get it for as affordable price as you will with sunMAX in smaller quantities. And with our product, it's profitable for 1,000 panels or for 20 or for 5, you know. And then, so I think, again, work out the details there, but we're very flexible, and we have no requirements there for pallet size.
Great. Thank you so much, Andrew. And if you have any closing words, please do so now, because I think we're at the end of our question and answer session. I think it's gone very well.
Yeah, I appreciate all the great questions. Again, feel free to engage with us anytime. We appreciate your participation, and we look forward to speaking with you further. You know, again, I'm happy to field any questions you have. I'm available, so chat with us on sunlink.ubnt.com. We'll continue our conversation there.
Thank you so very much for answering all those questions. And also I'd like to thank everyone for attending today. And again, other questions, feel free to contact your sales rep or email us at sales@microcomtech.com. And if anyone wishes to view any of the products mentioned or shown today, please be sure to visit us at www.microcom.us or contact your sales rep as well. Remember, this webinar presentation was recorded and will be uploaded on our Microcom YouTube channel, so anyone can view it and to reference it again. Thank you very much, and have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, Julie.
You're welcome.